Hello, Orbis here, and today I'm going to be ranking every song on Imagine by John Lennon. So, Imagine is probably John Lennon's most famous album, most successful, probably his most critically acclaimed as well, I guess. It was my favourite for a long time, but I think now I'm more into Plastic Ono Band. But this is also a great album, of course. I would say that the quality is pretty consistent, but there's a good variety of types of tracks and styles. I do have definite favourites on this album, but it was still difficult to rank. Every time I tried to rank it, it would just be completely different every time, but this is the one I just ended up with. I think because it's such a varied album, which one my favourites are does kind of depend on my mood, and yeah, it definitely changes around a lot. So let's start with the ranking. At the bottom I've gone with I Don't Want to Be a Soldier Mama. I think that's kind of always been my least favourite. I don't dislike it, I don't think it's just quite repetitive and it goes on a bit too long, so it's not a strong track in my opinion. Next I've gone with It's So Hard, which is just like a kind of standard bluesy song. It just doesn't stand out much to me, but it's decent, it's fine. Next is Give Me Some Truth, which may be a controversial low pick, but I think it's great actually. I think it's just those bottom two that I'm not too fussed about. But Give Me Some Truth is great. Obviously it originated during the Let It Be, Get Back period. Yeah, it's great. It just doesn't, to me it's just not, I just can't bring myself to love this track. I don't really, it's hard to really explain why, I just don't. I'd say every song from here on out I would probably say I love. So next up I've gone with Oh You Okay, which is a nice pop folky love song. Yeah, it's pretty good. Next I've gone with How, which I think is an amazing song, honestly. Very introspective lyrics. Like I kind of see this song being on the Plastic Ono Band album. It's got that same kind of vibe. Next I've gone with Crippled Inside, which is like a country folky song, and I like the lyrics. Next is Oh My Love, which is another kind of slow, slightly melancholy song. Again, I could see this being on Plastic Ono Band, and this one's fantastic. Okay, so now we're in the top three. And at number three, I've gone with the title track, Imagine. Obviously, this is the most famous song on here. I mean, it's the most famous John Lennon song, solo song, and it's just like a famous, iconic song. I guess it's just at number three because the next two I like more personally. I think this song is fantastic, obviously. And at number two, I've gone with How Do You Sleep, which is obviously part of the feud through songs between John Lennon and Paul McCartney. But I think this is probably my favourite song that came out of the feud. It could also be Too Many People, if that counts. But yeah, I mean, this song it's pretty nasty, it's kind of brutal, but I think it's great. And the lyrics are pretty clever, even if they are brutal. The only thing you've done was yesterday, and since then you're just another day. I think that's an incredible line. I mean, every line in the song is great. I just can't. I know some people don't like it because it's quite nasty. I think it's great. There is an alternate version of this song that's more stripped back and doesn't have all the Phil Spector production on it, which I actually prefer. But this song's also great. So I've put my favourite song on the album as Jealous Guy. I would say it swaps between Jealous Guy and How Do You Sleep. I think Jealous Guy is just an incredible song, one of John Lennon's best he ever wrote. It actually originates from the White Album period. I think it was originally written in India, although originally it was called, it had completely different lyrics, and it was called Road to Marrakesh, and then it became Child of Nature and eventually Jealous Guy. But the melody was always kind of the same, it was just the lyrics that changed. Also the cover by Donny Hathaway is really good, so if you haven't heard that, I recommend you check it out. So there you go, that was the ranking. Let me know what you thought of my ranking and what yours would be. So next up is, of course, Sometime in New York City, which will be interesting because it's a double album, so that's going to take a bit longer. And I'm not quite as familiar with that album as, some of the other John Lennon albums, so I'll have to listen to that probably once or twice again to refresh myself. Spoiler alert, I do not like that album, but I've got to get through it because I have to do all of them, so hopefully I'll get that out next week, but I don't know. I'm going to be bold and say it's going to be out on Monday, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.